Hello, and welcome back to our continuing Settlement Survival Let's Play series, Season 2. I'm Larry, and it's episode 12. And yes, I have not released a normal playthrough video for the past couple days, and I've been concentrating on some of the tutorials. And then, yes, this is going to be another tutorial. And today we are talking about sandstorms. Yes. The new evil, vile thing that Gleamer has put in to torment our lives. And yes, we're going to discuss this today. And sandstorms are just like tornadoes. They will completely devastate an area if you do not have your buildings reinforced. Just like this one right here. If the sandstorm hit it, it would be a vaporous memory. Just like if the sandstorm hits these fields, I'm going to lose the crops just like it would a tornado. But the really cool thing is a tornado stays at full strength. So you can sit there and watch it pass through and you'll see the line of destruction that it causes. Well, they added something new to the sandstorm, which is really cool, and it slowly dissipates in the width of the storm every time it hits trees. So, the only defense we truly have against sandstorms is the almighty tree. Now, I've watched several sandstorms on my maps, and as you can see, I was loosey-goosey building. Now, what I went ahead and did is I clear cut out all these trees. Now, if the sandstorm hit this area, it's going to slowly reduce in strength every time it eats a building up, but it reduces drastically once it hits trees. So this is my new building style now. And as you can see, trees are critical to the build. Everything in here I have set up to try to grow the best amount of trees. Now, how do we accomplish this? And the best way, our best building that we have to deal with this is the forester's hut. Now, the forester's hut, you can plant trees and you can cut trees down. And what I have done is I have scattered my forester huts down to start filling in trees. Now, I'm refining this process even more because I'm about ready to plop down more foresters here where it's empty. And as the settlement builds out, I'm going to put foresters in plant-only mode so everything gets planted before I start building. Because right before I started filming this episode, what I went ahead and did is I hit H, and it's glaringly obvious, but I didn't pick up on it until right before I started recording. But all of this is in a grid pattern. And if you turn around, and what I've come up with is you want to set your foresters down way before you start building. So then you get the maximum amount of trees, like what's in here. So then when you decide to plop, let's say, a building down, you can set it up to where you can see where the trees are going to be, because the blue will go over whatever tree you're going to build over. So like if I place it right here, I'm going to have trees behind it. I'm going to have trees on the side of it. I'm going to lose the few trees that are under it, but that's going to give me my maximum coverage. And so that's going to be a habit that you're going to want to get into before you start placing your roads down, because if I would have placed this better, I would have been able to get more trees around this. And so that's going to be a building style that you're going to want to check out, because like right here, if you notice by this plantation, with how the grid goes, it looks like I'm never going to get trees planted here. So what I should have done is, with how these trees are, I should have put this one down. Then I would have had 2 trees here, or I should have reoriented it so I'd have trees going around it. So that's something you're going to want to consider, because like right here, I'll be able to, it'll put trees here, it'll put trees here, but it looks like I'm not going to get anything here. And then with how I place this road, the road is covering up a tree grid. So if I want to fix this, then what I need to do is I need to take, this, eliminate this road. Yes, it's going to mess up my pathing, but what's more important, trees or the pathing? But with how I have everything built, my pathing's not an issue, because with how everything is laid out, my people get to stay in the same area. I have over here, like you'll see, I have my advanced tailors. So they just, when they make clothes, they're going to drop them off here. I have my smithy over here, so they're going to drop here. So all the people in this area will be able to go right into my transfer station, so they're not going to have to path down here for stuff. They're going to be able to stay in the same area. And I'm doing that with all the final builds. Just like I'll get a gourmet shop over here where they'll be able to dump the higher end foods. So they're not going to have to go all over the map just to get what they need. So I've pretty much eliminated pathing. And yeah, I'm actually doing housing count of how many people can live, so I can make sure that I have the right amount of people so they can just live here, go to work. Live here, go to work. Because as you can see, this will take 2 people. This houses 2 people. This houses, and I'm saying adults. So this should employ here. This should be employing here. But with these houses right here, I have all the employment covered for what I've just built. So yeah. And another big tip for after your first sandstorm, see where it tracks. And wherever it tracks, you want to avoid putting any type of crops or any type of animals in that corridor. Now, the really cool thing is since it basically turns into a cone as it gets weaker and the width just starts to narrow every time it hits trees or devastates a building, that's something you want to look at. It's just like a tornado. If you're used to a tornado starting right here and it paths right through here, you're not going to put any of your animals, you're not going to put any crops or anything like that in the way. You're going to move everything out of that area. So your first sandstorm is going to be the sandstorm that hurts, because you need to know the general area with where it paths. But the more trees you put in, the better. And so would you rather see something like this in your build and reduce your sandstorms, or get totally annihilated in something like this? Now, the other thing that you want to get used to is don't clear cut your trees anymore. If you need timber, only do a small path to cut your trees down. And what I mean by that is we'll go over here, we'll select we're just going to take a small amount of trees, or like that. So you'll take those trees, and then if need be, go further down and take another row of trees. But whatever you do, you don't want to clear cut like I did here, because if the sandstorm icon does come up, you're going to run a huge risk that trees didn't regrow back fast enough, and it's going to, if you don't have these buildings reinforced, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt big time. Now, another thing is, when you're dealing with trees, look for the administrator that reduces the time in tree growth, because that takes care of your whole map. So that's one good way to get all the trees in a denser, being dense on your whole entire map is through that administrator. So that would be one key administrator that you're going to want to be able to keep in office. So yeah, those are the best tips that I can give you to survive a sandstorm. And just remember, treat them just like you would a tornado. And don't forget to build your shelter. And if you don't know where shelters are at, see here in the blueprints, see where it says shelter? Allows you to build one. And I put my shelter right here. So I don't want it too close to the edge of the map. I want people to be able to hunker down without getting sucked up. So thank you for your time. And if you like what I said, please hit like on the video. Follow the channel. I've got a lot of good stuff coming up. And I'm having a great day. You have a great day. And I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye.